Dandavat Pranam Mataji. So today we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, first chapter, 8th verse and 9th verse, if possible, 10th we will see. So in the previous class, we discussed about, Sukadev Goswami start answering the questions asked by Parikshit Maharaj. Especially the last two verses, we discussed that the goal of any living entity or the one who has the knowledge about who Krishna is, their purpose is to please Krishna. Those who don't know the purpose of life, anyway, they don't know what to do, right? For example, animals, birds, insects, they don't have any religion, they don't have a temple, they don't have any god that they worship every, whatever it is. They don't have any rules. All they have is get up, look for food. Once food is done, sleep. If something comes on it, defend. And whenever they are in kind of heat or something, they just mate and have hot springs. This is their routine. There is no change in this. Since the beginning, this is the same routine that all the animals follow. None differ from this routine. But if we also do exactly the same, then what is the purpose? What is the difference between them and us? Absolutely no difference. That is why we should have a purpose. That purpose is Jivasya Tattva Jignasa. We should know the Tattva. Why I have born. What is my purpose? What is my purpose? We can check ourselves actually. Every single day, if someone is given money for us and asking us simply just get up, do whatever normal things, eat, whatever you do, then eat and then sleep. If someone feed us in this fashion, can we be happy and live forever like that? We don't. We don't. The most important thing and the most that makes us to feel alive is a purpose of ourselves. A purpose of ourselves. If nobody is depending on us and we don't have any relationship, then we don't live longer. We perish very quickly. We perish very quickly. This is why lot of times people will feel depressed, all this. Why they depressed it? Because they feel suddenly there is no use for them. There is no value about them. They feel, oh, okay, there is no point me existing other than taking space. This is the kind of thoughts they run into it. No, we have a purpose. We have a purpose. Anyone who knows this knowledge, their purpose is basically to please Krishna. Samasiddhir Haritoshanam. Their job is basically to please Krishna. No matter what the method we follow, what sampradaya we follow, anything we follow, ultimately our goal is to please Krishna. That is what it is. Now, such persons, that means those who have knowledge, what do? They take pleasure in glorifying Krishna. They take pleasure giving this knowledge to the others. That is their purpose. They take pleasure, right? What is the highest pleasure they derive it? They derive the highest pleasure by discussing about the matters of Krishna. That is, they feel good. They feel alive. Here, Sukadev Goswami got a very good opportunity to speak about the glories of Krishna. A perfect setup. A perfect setup. a perfect setup, especially a wonderful set of audience actually. Here, before we go into, let's read the eighth verse and we will discuss a little bit more on it. So please repeat after me. Idam Bhagavatam Nama
Idam
Idam
Bhagavatam
Bhagavatam Nama
Puranam Brahma Samhitam
Puranam
Puranam
Brahma Samhitam
Brahmamitam
Adhitavan Dvauparado
Aditvam
Titavan Dvaparada
Dvaparadho
Piturdvaipayanadaham
Piturdvapaya Nadaham
Piturjanadaham
Idam Bhagavatam Nama
Idam
Idam
Bhagavatam
Bhagavatam
Nama
Puranam Brahma Samhitam
Puranam Brahma Samitam
Adhitavan Dvaparado
Aditvam Dvaparadho
Piturdvaipayanadaham.
Piturdvapaya Nadaham.
Some of you can recite this verse. 3-4 people. Yes. Go ahead, Prabhu.
Idam Bhagavatam Nama
Idam
Puranam Samhitam Aditavan Dvaparado Piturdvaipayanadaham. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. A few more devotees. One more.
Yes, Prabhuji, I'll try.
Yes, Mataji, please.
Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samitam Adhitvavan Dvaparadho Piturdvapayanan Dvapyanad Aham.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Two more people.
I can try.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Idam Bhagavatam Nama Purana Brahma Samitam Advitanam Dvaparado Pitru Deva Padpayandaham.
Yeah, that is basically Pitur Dvaipayana. Dvaipayana is Vedavyasa. Pitur means is the father, right? Vedavyasa, the father. Pitur Dvaipayana Aham. Aham. So yeah. So it's together. Pitur Dvaipayanadaham. Yeah. One more person.
I'll read Prabhuji.
Yes.
Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Advaitavan Dvaparadau Piturdvaipayanadaham. Thank you, Prabhuji.
That is Adhitavan Mataji, not Advaita. So
Oh, sorry,
Adhitavan.
Prabhuji. Adhitavan. Sorry.
Yeah. So they both are completely different. So yes. Okay. Navina Radha Mataji, would you like to read the translation and purport, Mataji?
Okay, Prabhuji. The statement made, translation. At the end of translation by Srila Prabhupada, Maharaj Prabhupada's teacher. At the end of the Dwapar Yuga, I studied this great supplement of Vedic literature named Shri Bhagavatam, which is equal to all Vedas from my father Srila Dwapayana Vasudeva. Purport. The statement made by Srila Sukadev Goswami that the topmost transcendentalist who is beyond the jurisdiction of regulation and restriction mainly takes to the risk of hearing about and glorifying the personality of Godhead is verified by his personal example. Sukadev Goswami, being a recognized liberty soul and the topmost transcendentalists, was accepted by all the topmost sages present in the meeting during the last 7 days of Maharaja Parikshit. 7 days of Maharaja Parikshit. Prabhuji, I'm just reading from this screen only. He cites from the example of his life that he himself was attracted by the transcendental activities of the Lord, and the studied Srimad Bhagavatam from his great father, Sri Dwapayana Vasudeva. Srimad Bhagavatam, or for that matter, any other scientific literature cannot be studied at home by one's own intellectual capacity. Medical books of anatomy or physiology are available in the market, but no one can become a qualified medical practitioner simply by reading such books at home. One has to be admitted to the medical college and study the books under the guidance of the learned professor. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam, the postgraduate study of the science of Godhead, can only be learned by studying it at the feet of the realized soul, like Srila Vyasadeva. Although Sukadev Goswami was a liberated soul from the very day of his birth, he still had to take lessons of Srimad Bhagavatam from his great father. Vyasadeva, who compiled the Srimad Bhagavatam under the instruction of another great soul, Sri Narada Muni Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, instructed a learned Brahman to satisfy Srimad Bhagavatam from a personal Bhagavata. Vedic desire tree. Prabhuji, can you make the screen up because I cannot see afterwards? Yes, thank you. The Vedic desire tree and the natural commitment on the Brahma Sutra, the topmost philosophical thesis on the subject matter of Brahma. Vasudeva appeared at the end of Dwapar Yuga as the son of Satyavati, and therefore the word Dwapara Adyo, or the beginning of Dwapar Yuga, in this context means just prior to the beginning of Kali Yuga. The logic of this statement, according to Srila Jiva Goswami, is comparable to that of calling the upper portion of the tree, upper portion of the tree, beginning. The root of the tree is the beginning of the tree, but in common knowledge, upper portion of the tree is the first seen. In that way, the end of the tree is accepted as its beginning.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. So here, especially, Prabhupada has given a very nice purport. And if we really observe Prabhupada's purports, it is more than what the verse is saying actually. Prabhupada took a lot of pains to really write these purports actually. Because if you look at these purports are giving what is behind these lines, what is in between these lines, who is speaking, what is the context they are speaking it. All the details were given. So that way, we can understand. So we may not be savvy with the subject matter, but at least we know by reading the purport. Oh, okay, who is the speaker? Who is the audience? What they are speaking? What is the purpose? That is why Prabhupada has taken pains to write all these things. Especially here, couple of words were used. Dvaparadav. Dvaparadav. What does it means actually? The end of Dwapara Yuga, right? After Krishna left, that is when Vedavas has written. Isn't it? Vedavas has written after the very first class of Bhagavatam. We discussed about it in Bhagavat Mahatmya. Why Bhagavatam was even appeared, right? Uddhava asked, requested. On the request of Uddhava, Krishna has literally walked into Bhagavatam as a literary incarnation, isn't it? As a literary incarnation, Krishna has appeared in Bhagavatam. So whoever is studied Bhagavatam, whoever is having Bhagavatam, that means Krishna is with them. But here especially, what they are talking about is, interestingly, a person like Sukadev Goswami, a topmost transcendentalist, already a liberated soul. By birth itself, he is a liberated soul. See, in general, we practice the liberation, isn't it? Janmana jayate Shudra. By birth, we are all Shudras. Then what next comes? Samskarat bhavet vipra. So, by doing samskara, these upanayana samskaras, initiations, all this, we become what? Vipra. Vipra. Is a kind of dvija, like twice born, twice born. Then what happened? Patanat bhavet pandita. So by studying, sorry, by studying the scriptures and everything and getting the knowledge, we become pandita. And then brahmana jayate brahmana. So by knowing Brahman, Brahma janati iti brahmana. So by knowing the Brahman, you become Brahmana. So it is very easy. We say Brahman, Brahman, Brahman. Brahman is not easy. Those who know about the Brahman, that person is Brahmana. But how do we know that Brahman? Someone needs to teach us. Someone needs to teach us. That is why, even in the material world also, an education learned without a teacher is no good in life. No good in life. This is very, very important. I learned this firsthand. I just want to share why the teacher is so important. A what you call a bona fide teacher is important. A simple example I will tell you. I'm not a swimmer. I'm not a swimmer. But what I did is, when Chandana, when she is 5 years old, 6 years old, she is a pretty good, like, right away she attracted to the water. By herself, she start learning it, doing flips and doing it or something. Seeing her interest, what I did is basically, I borrowed some DVDs from library. I watched them. I learned them, and I went into the pool. I practiced myself. And then I didn't become an expert. And then I start teaching Chandana. For initial days, she did very good. And when she joined the team, for the first year, she did pretty good. And the second year, when the next level coach start teaching her properly, then one day he saw me. I am with her practicing it. I'm telling her, okay, make strokes like this, put your hands like this, breathe this side, that side. I've been telling her. He watched me from a far distance. Then after this, he came to me. He asked, are you a swimmer? I said, no, I'm not a swimmer. I just learned. Then you know what he said? Stop teaching. He said right like that. Stop teaching. You are spoiling your kid. She's a very good swimmer, but without basics, you are teaching her all wrong things. And that wrong, right now she is doing, if she continue, that cannot be corrected at all. That cannot be corrected at all. And we realized it. I realized it personally. When Chandana started growing more and more, she became slowly, district level, state level swimmer. Especially when it goes to state level swimming, I realized what my mistake is. She never corrected what I taught her when she was a child. The way she diving and the way taking breaths. So it became part of our routine, what I taught her when she was 5 years old. So this is very, very important. We should never ever teach our children without we undergoing to it. We just read books and something on our own, we start teaching it. That's not at all correct. That is exactly what here Sukadeva Goswami is telling. Sukadeva Goswami being the topmost transcendentalist, no need no one to tell. He could open the book or something and he could read it and he could understand. No. He heard this one, he studied this one under his father, Vaipayana Vyasadeva, who is the author of Bhagavatam. So this is very, very important. Especially Bhagavatam is the essence. Sarva Vedanta Saram hi Sri Bhagavatam Ishyate. So the Bhagavatam is called the Vedanta Saram. Veda Anta, the end of all the Vedas, is basically Vedanta, right? Vedanta Saram, the essence of Vedanta. The essence of the end of all this is Bhagavatam. So if we know Bhagavatam, then we know everything. We know the Lord. In Bhagavad Gita, in 15:15, the chapter 15th and 15th verse, Krishna mentioned, there's a beautiful line in that verse. Anyone remember what is the line Krishna mentioned? Anyone know this famous verse 15:15? You should all know. At least some of the Bhakti Shastri students are there. What is the verse number 15:15?
Prabhuji, Vedaischa Sarvai Aham Veda.
Yes, wonderful Mataji. Vedaischa sarvair ahameva vedyo. Vedaischa sarvair. All these Vedas were given to know me. So the Vedas were given to know me. So that is what Krishna is telling. So Bhagavatam is the essence of Vedas. That means what? This is Krishna. So in many levels, we can understand that studying Bhagavatam means studying the life of Krishna. Studying the life of Krishna. Likes and dislikes of Krishna. His interest and disinterests of Krishna. What is he, how he is grown, where he is, what is his mood swings, all of these things. That is the study of Bhagavatam. So this is what it is. And especially we have to study from a bona fide teacher. Why? The bona fide teacher can put it things in a right perspective for us. Right perspective for us. This is very, very important. Very, very important. Because most of the parents have this tendency. Okay, I can study and I can teach my kid myself. This is one mistake I told swimming, right? The second mistake also I did it is tennis. The second mistake I did is tennis. I also play tennis too. And I learned tennis by myself. Nobody taught me tennis. And pretty much I'm pretty good with tennis too, because a lot of university players has prized me. Hey Srini, how did you get such a wonderful backhands and especially service? Okay. With that knowledge, I start teaching both of my kids. Harsha completely gave up. He never even show interest. But Chandana tried couple of it, but afterwards she completely gave up on tennis. My mistake, because I thought of I know to teach. No, I know for myself, but I don't know how to teach for kids actually. There is a nice way to teach kids actually. It is not overnight everyone can develop skills. No, it is a long, we need to be very, very patient. Both of the cases, I miserably played. At least in case of swimming, there are proper coaches, they corrected her, and fortunately, she became a very good swimmer. Very good swimmer. And now the tennis completely gone. Gone. So this is very, very important. Here Sukadev Goswami is clearly telling us. And now, why this was all given for us, especially in this chapter? This one is setting the mood. Okay, how important for us to know the Bhagavatam. So before going to the next verse, I will tell you how important this Bhagavatam is. This is from Bhagavat Mahatmya. When we discussed it, I think I don't remember clearly whether I mentioned this point or not. So in Bhagavat Mahatmya, there is a beautiful discussion between Brahma and Sukadev Goswami. Brahma is instructed, even in fact, all the Devatas, or in fact the Devatas, Indra, headed by Indra, they came to Sukadev Goswami. And he said, you know what? He said, I will give you all the riches of Suralok, all the riches of Suralok. You give us Bhagavatam. You teach us Bhagavatam. You know what he said? Sukadeva Goswami bluntly denied their request. First of all, Sukadeva Goswami doesn't require any of the worldly riches, right? What does he do? He's a liberated soul. He doesn't even care for his body. Why do he care for any of this one at all? For him, that is a piece of glass and dust, no more than that. So he said to Brahma, what you are offering is a piece of broken glass and you are trying to trade with a diamond. You are trying to trade with a diamond. Who in the world trade a broken piece of glass with a diamond? No. So he outrightly denied the Devatas to take part in this 7-day Bhagavata Saptah. So what is the qualification to listen to Bhagavatam? Why he denied Devatas to participate in this Bhagavata Saptah? Anyone have any comment? What could be the reason why Sukadeva Goswami denied the demigods to participate in? Any comments from anyone? You could guess something. No takers? At least
So maybe Prabhuji, like they have their own duty. Then in that case, maybe they will leave that duty and surrender to the Lord, something like that. I just think.
no, if they have their duty and they're willing to surrender, then it's a good thing, isn't it? It is a good thing, right, Nanar Prabhu? If I have some duty as a father or someone, as a son, brother or something, I leave my duty, but I'm paying all my attention on listening to Bhagavatam. That is a good thing, is it not?
But the duty is what demigod has different from us. Like, but and that needs to be done, right? For others, it's as per the order of the Supreme Lord, right? Like,
Even our duty is also order of Supreme, is it not? I am a father. My duty is to my child is the topmost priority, is it not? That was also ordered by Krishna only, right? This family was given by Krishna and I'm taking care of this family. This is the same rule for the demigods too. The demigod has a rule to, look after some season or something, and that is his job. We all were given some job by Krishna in this material world. Is it not? But if we go beyond the job description and voluntarily serve Krishna, that is what Krishna wants. Sarvarhanam achyuteja. So Krishna is telling that if you depend on me, I will take care of you and your family. Then why should I bother about taking care of my family? If Krishna takes care of it, all I have to do is pay attention to Krishna. Isn't it? The highest goal of our life is to love Krishna. And if I love Krishna, then why should I bother for anything else at all? It is Krishna's job to take care of it, isn't it? On that note, what you mentioned, is it a good thing or a bad thing? Nayanar Prabhu, you are unmuted.
sorry, Prabhuji. Yeah, it's a good thing, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Okay. So, what could be the reason why he denied Devtas? Anyone? Navina Radha Mataji, Sarada Radhika Mataji, Madhuradesh Prabhu.
No, Prabhuji.
So,
maybe because they have more their desires are not fully devoted to Krishna, so they are more attached to the sense gratifications.
A perfect one. A perfect one. That is absolutely correct. So, being in Suraloka, Swarga, they are meant to enjoy every second of it. They enjoy millions of times higher than our sense gratification is the sense gratifications of Devatas. Devatas are prone to enjoy every second of it. So, being a Devata, the focus on signs of Krishna is not an easy task. In other words, basically, they are polluted like anything, or they are polluted to the core. So, they are not qualified to be part of it. So, the qualification to listen Bhagavatam is sincerity. Sincerity. I am sincere to listen to this. That sincerity is enough to listen to. That sincerity, Sukadeva Goswami, is not found in Devatas. That is why he denied their participation. So don't think that, okay, I can buy Bhagavatam and I can just read it. No, that is not how it works. For that matter, even Bhagavad Gita too, or any Vedic literature is not something I buy it from in the market, or I download it from internet and I read it and I learn myself. No, we can learn only a little bit. We know who is who, but we never know the behind, the depth of it, the real meaning of it. We don't know. That is very, very essential. So this paragraph is especially giving how important or what is the attitude of us being the listeners of Bhagavatam should be, to get all the full benefit of Bhagavatam. So that is what it is. Now let us read the next verse and see what this next verse is saying. So there he is telling that I heard from my father and I studied under my father. Now let us see what here it is saying that. Parinistitopi nairgunya
Parinistitopi nairgunya
uttama sloka leelaya
uttama sloka leelaya
gruhita cheta rajarshe
गृहीतचेता राजसे
rajarse
आख्यानं यदधीतवान्
आख्यानं यत्
yadaditavan
परिनिष्ठितोऽपि नैर्गुण्या
परिनिष्ठितो
parinistitopi nairgunya
उत्तमश्लोकलीलया
उत्तमा
sloka
श्लोकलीलया
leelaya
गृहीता चेता राजर्षे
गृहीता चित्तारास्ते
rajarse
आख्यानं यदधीतवान्.
आख्यानं
yadaditavan.
Yeah, whoever is not recited the previous verse, if anyone interested, you can recite this verse.
I'll read, Prabhuji.
Go ahead, Prabhu.
परिनिष्ठितोऽपि नैर्गुण्या उत्तमश्लोकलीलया गृहीतचेतराजर्षे आख्यानं यदधीतवान्.
Thank you, Prabhu. Anyone who would like to try? Whoever is not read.
I'll read.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Go
Yes, I
ahead,
heard
Mother.
Prabhuji. No, you can go. Later I will read.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Mother. परिनिष्ठितोऽपि नैर्गुण्या उत्तमश्लोकलीलया गृहीता चेतराजर्षे आख्यानं यदतीतवान्. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, Sarada Radhika Mataji, you can recite.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. परिनिष्ठितोऽपि नैर्गुण्या उत्तमश्लोकलीलया गृहीतचेता राजर्षे Akhyanam yadahitavan.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Anyone else would like to try?
I will read. परिनिष्ठितोऽपि नैर्गुण्या उत्तमश्लोकलीलया गृहीतचेतराजर्षे आख्यानं यदधीतवान्.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sarada Mataji, would you like to read the translation and purport, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
Translation. Sorry, Prabhuji, can you
Yeah,
hear?
go ahead, Mataji, please.
Sorry. Translation. O saintly king, I was certainly situated perfectly in transcendence, yet I was still attracted by the delineation of the pastimes of the Lord, who is described by enlightened verses. Purport. The absolute truth is realized at the first instance as the impersonal Brahman by philosophical speculation, and later as the supersoul by further progress of transcendental knowledge. But if by the grace of the Lord an impersonalist is enlightened by the superior statement of Srimad Bhagavatam, he is also converted into a transcendental devotee of the personality of Godhead. With a poor fund of knowledge, we cannot adjust to the idea of the personality of the absolute truth, and therefore the personal activities of the Lord are deplored by the less intelligent impersonalist. But reasons and arguments, together with the transcendental process of approaching the absolute truth, help even the staunch impersonalist to become attracted by the personal activities of the Lord. A person like Sukadeva Goswami cannot be attracted by an mundane activity, but when such a devotee is convinced by a superior method, he is certainly attracted by the transcendental activities of the Lord. The Lord is transcendental, as are his activities. He is neither inactive nor impersonal. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Mataji. And here, the purport, even though it has few lines, but every line is very, very wonderful line. Huh? Every line is wonderful line. Even the last line itself, if you look at it, the last line itself, the Lord is transcendental, as are his activities. Isn't it? Janma karma cha me divyam. Isn't it? The activities of the Lord is transcendental. This is the same statement that was given in Bhagavad Gita. Anyone know? Janma karma cha me divyam. Where is this line in Bhagavad Gita? A famous verse.
212 or 214 something.
This is then Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vetti tattva tattva tekva deham punarjanma naiti mameti soarjuna. Which one is this one? This is chapter number 4, verse number 9.
4:9.
Okay?
Okay.
So see this one. This itself is saying exactly the same line. And also he is saying that he is neither inactive nor impersonal. So he is a person. He is performing some activities. He is performing activities means he is a person, not imperson. Most of the time we say that the Lord is light, Lord is some abstract form, Lord is like, he gives an energy. No. Here clearly indicating that Lord is a person. And he performs. He is not inactive. He is active. He performs. He performs. So, what are his activities? The activities he performed are very, very transcendental. Those are attracted the impersonalist. So, this question was asked. In fact, Many times this was answered by Bhaktichara Swami and Hanmat Pesha Swami also. Both of them answered almost the same way. So why Krishna perform these activities, especially the ones in Vrindavan? He killed the demons left and right as a small boy, infant, to all the way up to 10 years old or 14 years old. He killed almost like unlimited number of demons. Why Lord has to do that? He could order his agents, especially the topmost agent of Lord Krishna, who is the topmost devotee of and is the most powerful in the material world, the most powerful in the material world. Nothing stops him. Who is that? Anyone know? The Lord's agent, who is the most powerful in the material world, can take anyone.
Lord Shiva.
Yes, absolutely. Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is there. In terms of power, there is no, he is second to none. He could take care of anyone, but why Lord Krishna especially has to come? Any idea? Any idea why Krishna has to kill these demons, Putana, Sakatasura, Trinavarta, all these guys?
To
Kesi,
protect the
Astavakra.
devotees.
No, he can protect the devotees in many ways. In many forms, he can protect it too.
To liberate them.
Yes, that is one reason. He can liberate the demons. Interestingly, even though Vishnu can liberate it, but many accounts somehow Vishnu didn't liberate them. I don't know why, but many accounts Vishnu didn't liberate them. Somehow in Krishna, he liberated every single demon he touched it, actually. Every single one got liberated. But more than that,
Maybe
okay,
maybe pleasure of devotees.
Yeah.
yeah, to give the
Pleasure
pleasure,
Krishna.
but
Krishna, pleasure Prabhuji. Krishna also wants some pleasure, Prabhuji.
yes, Krishna also wants pleasure. But remember, all these killing, all these things, that is not a highest level pleasure at all. Killing or wrestling, fighting, this is not the topmost pleasure. What is the topmost pleasure? Generally, in the material world, what is the topmost pleasure we derived from?
Madhurya.
Madhurya, love, not fighting. Madhurya, that is absolutely correct. A love connection between the entities. Whether it could be Madhurya, sometimes it could be friendship, sometimes it could be Vatsalya, sometimes a love, a relationship, enjoyment in relationship. That is the topmost. Not that, a kind of fighting is also a kind of relationship, but not really on the primary level. No. But yet, Krishna performed these activities. So, the true transcendentalist, they didn't enjoy anything in fighting and killing. For example, a person like Narada, he don't like that fighting of Krishna. He really don't like it. It's kind of. So, who are these people actually? Who likes this most actually? Who are the first set of people get attracted quickly to these kind of things? Who? Who are the people can attract these kind of things? The pastimes that Krishna performed quickly attracts.
Krishna's devotees.
Krishna devotees, but many variations are there in Krishna devotees, right? A person like Haridas Thakur, a person like Brahma, a person like Shiva, they are not interested for this mundane fighting levels. Krishna, kills the demons. So Lord Shiva too. He can kill left and right all these demons. Tripurasura, all these were killed by Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva got excited, to see these kind of things. Who are the people especially aimed these things for actually?
The Kshatriyas.
Friends.
Precisely, these are aimed for neophyte devotees and Kanishta, and especially impersonalized. Just now only we have seen Sukadeva Goswami said he is attracted, isn't it? What did he say? Help even the staunch impersonalists to become attracted by the personal activities of the Lord. So that means the impersonalists who are always thinking about that the Lord is impersonal, light, this and that, and all these things. When Krishna personally performed these activities, lifting Govardhan on a fingertip, or kind of killing as an infant the Putana, and as a baby killing Sakatasura, all these, it makes them intrigued. So they attracts it. So especially these leelas Krishna performed to attract neophyte and impersonalists. For them, he performed these leelas, not for a true or a Mahabhagavata. Mahabhagavata may not interested in these activities. For example, Uddhava. Uddhava not at all interested in kind of, but Uddhava is interested in what? Uddhava is interested in the leela that Krishna performed with the gopis. That is what Uddhava is interested. What sort of relationship makes Krishna is under the control of gopis? That is what Uddhava is interested. Not just killing these demons itself. So this is for to attract them. So that is the reason why Krishna performed these things in the very beginning. And also it is very important, especially if we look at ourselves in the material world. Among all the movies, what are the movies that are the top grossers of the world? What kind of genre are the top grossers of the world cinema?
Superheroes.
There you go. Superheroes movies. Why superheroes movies?
The action and thrill.
That's correct. Superhero movies are the most popular movies in the world. So the superhero movies are the most popular movies in the world. So if you look at the collections, those are the top grossers. Why? Because it attracts kids, it attracts the young generations, it attracts many levels of the people. Because the hero performs superhuman activities. That is exactly what is Krishna aimed for, isn't it? All the activities that Krishna created in Vrindavan are superhuman. Mere boy killing Kavalapida, these elephants, or Mustika, Chanura, all these wrestlers, unimaginable. Like can anyone imagine that such a huge, gigantic Pailwan, the wrestler, killed by just a mere, 14-year-old boy? That is what it is. That makes everyone is excited to see, to feel it. That's what exactly it is. So I will stop it here and let us see if we have any comments and questions, and so any realizations.